There must be some kind of way out of here, said a joker to the thief. There's too much confusion, I can't get no relief. Businessman there, drink my wine. Plowman, dig my earth. None will ever.
Hello, everybody. Today I have Jim Burns. Now, Jim Burns is a 20th SOS vet and a 21st veteran, correct?
Correct, yes.
So Jim and I have been venturing on trying to get more of these books out. So this is the first book that Jim and RT helped me on. And there's a second one out now too. I don't actually have that physical copy, but it's really quite great from your peer group and from your friends that they've shared so much history with me. And I thank you for your help as well, because without you fact checking, it can lead to a few errors. So have you enjoyed reading the books once you've got them?
Oh, absolutely. Like I mentioned before, that one of my goals is to shake these guys, their stories out of their soul and let them start telling them. And then I see it's happening, so I'm thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, what in this second book, one of the veterans said that he bought 5 books and gave one to each kid, and his grandson was actually doing a school book report about it, and I thought that's great. It's just,
oh yeah,
that's what I wanted it to be. So there'd be the veteran talking to their children, and then to their grandchildren while we still have you guys, right? I mean,
exactly.
It's so sad that, after grandpa's gone and the kids start looking through the pictures and say, oh, I wish I would have asked grandpa a question, right? Then it's too late.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So some of these in the new book here that I really enjoyed, there was one team leader, Jim Bolin, and the 9KZB, which is like I guess it's like a rocket launcher or something, and it was a highly valued target to bring back. And what I found funny about that is that it wouldn't fit into the Huey, so they had to put it sideways. I guess that was a fairly common thing for you guys to think outside of the box when it involved bringing bigger pieces, like rotor blades out to a shot down chopper or something.
Yeah, that was just common load. You just rotor blades came in a can, and you just put the can crossways, and both doors open in the cabin, and so it's just a big open hole there. You just push it right on in.
Wow.
Hanging out both sides.
Wow. And I guess that you would strap it in, obviously. Or yeah.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, I think I've got a picture of one of those with the rotor blades in there that I might be able to find and send to you.
That would be cool. And the other ones on here, Mr. Charles Marriott, I was able to interview him a couple of weeks or a month ago or 2 ago, and he's got some great stories about flying, and that's in there. And then your Daniel Boone story, Emergency, the 23rd of October, 1967. That's some real pucker factor. So Shriver, on that one, that's the one where you dropped Shriver and his team off, and then very quickly they called you for prairie fire. So you had to turn around, like you were back to base almost, I guess. And
actually, when they called, we were almost back to our FOL that we'd stay out while the teams were in, and he called, and we sent the gunbirds in first to get refueled so they could turn around and go right back out. And then we followed them in and got refueled and then headed right back out to pick him up.
Wow. I'm sure that was a real experience. And the other man that I just got to meet a little while ago, or introduced to, is crew chief Robert Davis, and it's called the Base Leg Crash. and where Robert was actually in the chopper when it crashed, and he was pinned in between the actual fuselage and his flight helmet, and he couldn't get out. You know, like, and it was catching fire, and then you also had ammo that was about to pop off, and they, and they said that they were able to get him out, and like just like in the movies, he said as soon as I was out of the way, the thing blew up. And I saw the picture, the aftermath. I mean, there was nothing left of the chopper.
Right. Yeah. That was after my time there, but I've heard his story. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was neat is I was able through RT is to find a written documents of the men who came there to rescue him from about 4 or 5 guys. So it really tells the complete story. But there is a really neat story that I'd like to talk about because I'm going to add that to the 21st book. And that is when Captain David Carr was above Laos and he got hit by the AAA fire. And then there's only in the last, before Mike Taylor passed away, he sent David a picture of you standing next to it, holding the inert round and the hole. Yes. And I guess that one of the gentlemen of the crew was looking through the hole. I mean, there's 2 pictures, right?
Yeah, the one looking through, I did a little photoshopping on that one. That was the flight engineer, Tom Mason. Wow. Was on that bird. And we, on some previous discussions, we were doing that. And I grabbed his photo and put him into the bird there. So that's not it's not an actual photo. That's a photoshopping photo. That particular one with Tom sticking out. So.
But he had done that, I guess, eh?
Oh, he was the crew chief. He was the flight engineer on that bird.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. If it would have hit much higher, it probably would have blown the whole boom off, eh?
Well, normally on the H3 they have a double ramp on the rear.
Okay.
And the aft ramp, well, the first ramp lowers down partially, and then you can lower the aft ramp down more to get a less of an incline to pull, a Jeep or something in there.
Okay.
And we didn't fly with the aft ramps on. We had removed them just because we didn't need the weight.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter whether we had them or not. If that aft ramp had been on that helicopter, it would have blown up inside that helicopter, and those guys wouldn't be here.
Oh, really? Wow. That really was a very close call.
Oh, it was so close. It's unbelievable. If that ramp had been there and where it hit, it came in where the ramp should have been and went out the right side of the helicopter. And if that ramp had been there, that had blown up inside instead of blowing out on the right side.
Wow. What history of the 20th SOS do you think has not been told yet, and you feel is important that people know or needs to be expanded?
Well, the thing I see and I run into, and my Rotorhead thing is my website is there's a lot of stories out there that aren't getting told yet. Mm-hmm. Guys just they don't. I don't know whether they don't like to write or they don't like to talk about it, but publishing books like you're doing, I think, is waking some of those guys up, and they're coming back with some stories now, which I think is the important thing of that.
Yeah, and it's been amazing that a lot of the sons have allowed me to share all their dad's stuff, and in the second book, I mean, there's even a guy that has all of his flight log, which is amazing. And then Jim Green, there's Jim Green, and then Arthur Honecker Senior. He that was more of a proper flight log, where Jim's was more of a diary, So that was great that both people allowed me to do that.
Yeah, Jim was after my time, but I flew with Arthur Honecker.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, wow. Yeah. We were there at the same time.
Wow. And so what made you make the change from the 20th to the 21st, or is that just where they needed you?
Yeah, it was just big Air Force. It's kind of ironic, as the war went on, and more helicopters got in there. and they were getting short of crews, and particularly on the flight engineer side. And I had left the 20th in '68 and went to Patrick Air Force Base onto the H-3s, and was, sitting fat, dumb, and happy there. And a year later, I got orders back to the 21st, and there were several of us flight engineers, and it also occurred with pilots too, but more so with the flight engineers. We were sitting at the Hoots one day, and we were reading the headline in the Air Force Time that second tours are about to begin. And I was on my second tour, and several others were, and some were even on their third tour. Wow. And then later on, the pilot routine for getting replacement pilots they started pulling in a lot of the
fixed wing
senior fixed wing guys, or off a desk, or off a B-52, or a tanker, or C-144, or or 141, and trained them in them. And matter of fact, the year I spent at the 21st, at one time, out of 32 pilots we had, only 3 of them were helicopter pilots that had been helicopter pilots their whole career.
Wow.
The rest of them were all cross trainees.
Wow. That was funny because, Charles, Marriott, being a fixed wing pilot, he said when he got the orders to fly a helicopter, he thought, oh, it's going to be pretty, fairly easy. He said, was I ever wrong? He said, wow, so it was a real learning curve for him. But I always find that interesting, really. I haven't found too many guys that weren't fixed wing pilot first. Maybe it's the era, that I'm talking to these guys, right? But most of them did fly. I think Mr. Marriott, he already had done one tour in Vietnam, but flying like cargo planes, I think it was, or transport.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He was saying that it was a real wake up call for him on his first day when he landed there in Vietnam as a chopper pilot. He met Jack Hale. Is that how you pronounce his name? And
yes.
And some other guys there, and they all got along and had a few beers. And then he was staying at like a barracks or whatever. And early in the morning, he got a knock on the door saying that Jack Hale had been killed, and the other man that he had met had been killed. And Charles said, "Wow, that was and he had to pack up Hale's personal effects."
Yeah.
He said even though he didn't know him too well, it was a very unsettling experience.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
My tour, both of my tours, we didn't lose anybody while I was there.
Wow.
My tour with the 21st, my roommate was killed about 3 months after I had left, rotated back to the States.
That's too bad. Yeah.
And the ironic thing was he was shot down in Thailand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So who would have shot him down then in Thailand?
Well, it's insurgents, I guess. I don't know that they ever really determined who it was, but it killed, I think there was one survivor on it, killed 5 out of there.
Wow. That's like, some of the SOG guys that I know, they went to Thailand and they were part of the 46. And they're fairly quiet about their activities, about what they were doing. I'm not saying there was anything, completely covert there, but it's not talked about much, that, Thailand, operation, so.
Originally the Hueys that became Green Hornets, they were originally assigned to the 606th Air Commando Squadron at NKP, and they were sent there to train the Thais in counterinsurgency operations and that kind of thing. And actually, it's not really, I haven't been able to absolutely determine they were physically signed to the 606. They were under a project called Lucky Tiger. And I've also seen references that even though they were there and they were still considered to be part of the 20th Helicopter Squadron as Flight E.
Oh,
because the squad broke up where they had birds at different bases. It was flight A and B and C. My understanding originally was that they became flight E when they actually became the Green Hornets in January of '67. But it's hard to pin down exactly when all those changes took place.
Yes, and you've been trying to educate me on all that, which and if I didn't have your help, I would be probably writing the wrong stuff. And Mr. Garcia's son was nice enough to send me a whole bunch of photographs from his dad, and then I've been sending them to you. And some of the men did stay and joined the Green Hornets, and others, I guess, they went their own way or whatever happened to them.
Originally the Green Hornets, the Lucky Tiger bunch were all TDY.
Okay.
And then when they moved to in January of '67, when they moved to the Trang, quite a few of those were still TDY, I think, but there was also some that were at NKP that didn't make the move. They went back home from their TDYs. So I think the TDYs were typically 90 days. So if they were with some of the real early Lucky Tiger guys, they probably didn't make the move to Green Hornets.
Yeah, and for those who want to do any background work like I've been, Lucky Tiger had a bunch of World War II airplanes as well, right? I mean, they were, it's hard. What I'm trying to say is hard to find too much history of the Hueys being there if you were to go on Google or whatever, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything I've looked up, just Lucky Tiger, there's hardly ever any mention of the Hueys being there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think originally that Lucky Tiger group had T-28s to train the Thais and maybe the Laotians, probably some C-47s and stuff. The A-1s and those type fighter aircraft didn't really start arriving until late '65, somewhere in there. No, I'm sorry, late '64 is when they started coming in there.
Wow. I guess we should say, because I'm going to post this onto the some of the 20th pages that you're on, and should anybody wish to share a story or photographs, they can contact Jim or myself. And
absolutely,
yeah. And I have I'll keep on going with these books. I'm on the third one now, and if guys keep continuing to share, I'll keep doing them. And then if somebody wants to research them in the future, then there's a lot of information there, so it's a good place. Because I looked, the only other Green Hornet book that I could find was Wayne's book. That's the only one. Yeah, that's the only one that's really dedicated, and I just picked that up, and that's an amazing book. And some Richard Jalloway, who's got some of his pictures in there, he's agreed to loan me his photographs to use on the third book. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, and
I think my picture when we went down in Cambodia with the speed decreaser gearbox blowing up is in there too. I think I threw that with Wayne.
Yeah. That I saw that there. Yeah. It's actually, I think, yeah. There's lots of amazing pictures in there. And this is the thing, is that when like I have this box from the Garcia family that like some of these pictures of these pilots are named, but some aren't. And I mean, it can be, I mean, this one says Bernard on the bottom. I've already sent you that one. But and some of these men, this man is a very interesting man, Royal Foster.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen.
I was there with him. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very interesting name, And I mean, I like to add these kind of pictures in to the books, because not just the military ones, because it gives people. Oh, and this is a great. photograph here, and that's with
Oh, that's,
Howard Funk.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Lieutenant Colonel. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, even here you have I guess Tom took a picture of the Minister of Health in Thailand, and
Uh,
if and there's Mr. Garcia there, I assume in Thailand somewhere. But
Probably so. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, these pictures, they start conversations. It's not just about the military photographs. I mean, they're great. But you guys did have some breaks between the chaos, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. A lot of bar time and a lot of harassment of each other and raising Cain. Yeah.
And for the people who are watching this, right behind Jim's right ear, there's a SOG plaque. And for people who haven't heard this story before, uh, who
I don't
gave
know if
you
I can
that?
get a picture of
Yep, no,
that.
yeah,
Did I get it?
yeah, we can see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's that mission you mentioned with Jerry Shriver. After that mission, he gave me that plaque.
yeah. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, that's a very cherished piece of
Absolutely.
your collection. You should write on the back of that that's who gave it to you. You know,
Yeah, you're right. I need to do that. Yeah.
because eventually these things filter through, right? And you don't want just that to be just some plaque that's floating around, which I
Yeah,
have,
I agree.
you
There's a
know,
real history for me behind that plaque.
yeah. And there's so many of those things. Uh, I in the first book I found this story funny. It was with Ron Winkles and Jerry Shriver, and he
Yeah.
said that the Shriver was so happy when he got back into the bird that he stuck his tongue into his ear. He just like definitely had a sense of humor.
Yeah,
Um,
well, that was kind of a typical harassment thing with guys around there. When they get to drinking a little bit, well, you're liable to get a tongue stuck in your ear.
and it was you that yeah, it was you that told me that. I hope I'm right in saying this, or else I'm going to embarrass myself. But did you not see Shriver and Klaus and Susie drinking beer? Was that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
A little club we had at Khantoum, and they got in there after he come back from one of his missions. Almost all of his missions were under fire when he was pulled out. But anyway, when they came back and he was sitting in the bar and they started drinking, and Jerry and it was Adolf, not Klaus. It was
oh, okay,
Adolf. Jerry and Adolf and Susie, his monkey or baboon, we called
yeah.
it, but it was a monkey. Uh, got over in the corner under the bar there and started drinking, and everybody just kind of cleared off to the other side of the room and let them get under there.
Wow. Yeah, so for people, and people still want to know about Shriver. And so just so or people know, this was Shriver's first dog. This is the dog that Jim's talking about, Adolf.
Yeah,
And you said it was
yeah,
Adolf because of his floppy ears, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And typical GIs, at the camp, you get your dog and you get it to chase a stick. Well, Adolf would chase beer cans. He wouldn't chase a stick. So,
Wow. And here are some. This is from the first book. These pictures are from Richard Jalloway with Klaus and the gentleman. I don't think it's in this series of pictures, but there's one with the gentleman who was killed in action. Oh yeah, it's this picture, Pike.
oh yeah, fine, yeah,
Yeah, so Richard Jalloway took that picture. I didn't realize he did take those pictures, so I said, in the next book that I format with his photographs, I'll be sure to give him credit. It's the least that we can do, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves is when people share photographs and there's no credit given and there's history lost to it, right?
yeah, yeah.
You
I
know,
agree.
that's not cool.
I'm
I
trying
did.
to remember now. I think we moved from Khantoum to Bamatui in November, I think it was, or November of '67, and I don't think I ever knew Klaus. I don't believe Jerry didn't move right away, and then I think I rotated back. I just don't remember Klaus. Of course, I've heard all the tales about
Yeah,
Klaus, but
yeah, yeah.
but the one I remember physically seeing and being around was Adolf.
Yeah, there's lots of Klaus stories which can't be told as well.
Yeah,
We'll leave those ones alone. Now it's kind of sad, but I felt it important that on the first book that every Green Hornet that was killed in action, we did a little bio about them, right? So if anybody wanted to research them, um, and yeah, it's important. And I should note that they are not on Amazon. They are they are on Barnes and Noble.
yeah. I
Um,
think I got that change out to everybody. So
yeah, we won't go into the whole Amazon thing. Um,
okay,
but Mr. Garcia, so this is neat. So there's a story. Wait until it focuses. So this is Tom, Garcia when he was being a fixed wing pilot, and he's one of the pilots that became a green. Actually, he was probably a Lucky Tiger first, I would assume, because of all those
correct.
pictures, and then he
Yeah,
became a Green Hornet. So there
yeah,
are so there's pictures that Mr. Garcia took of Shriver.
yeah.
I know that you helped me ID this gentleman here. Who is that? That is Strout. Now he was killed in action, was he not?
No, no. Bob just died about 4 or 5 years ago, I
Oh,
think.
okay, okay. This is different guy.
Yeah,
So there's an interesting story behind these photographs here that I've added, and there's some more of Shriver, and you'll see these pictures floating around, and they were kind of not seen until the last couple of years, and this one as well, which is a really neat picture of Shriver with his
yeah.
gear. And a question that often gets asked for SOG, excuse me, for SOG guys is, what did you take with you on your missions? Well, every mission was different. So you're not taking the same, you wouldn't take the same jobs if you were a tradesman. The same tools don't do every job. So on this one,
No,
you can
that's true.
see that Jerry's got the handcuffs. Well, that's for, prisoner snatch, right?
British Snatch. Yeah,
Yeah. And, these are older pants. I think they're 1951 or something. I forget, but there's a lot. And also he liked the Browning high power. Um,
yeah.
yeah. So this picture tells a lot of history. But those pictures were actually on eBay, and I was able to, excuse me, pick up some of those pictures and use them in the book. And now Jim has them, and so I've been trying to share any history that I get with Jim, because you're kind of the gatekeeper, right?
Well, yeah. I got involved in it. Yeah. Kind of
Yeah.
everybody's centered on me, and of course the U.S. Air Force Rotorhead website is it's about all helicopter guys, but a lot of guys connected from the 20th and 21st are connected back with me through that.
So just to recap, do you think that on the next book that I'm working on, or should I start again? Do you think that there's a good balance between the diagrams that I've added to help the public understand and some historical documents? It's a good mix. Like here, I've tried to tell people about the M60 and what I was going to say is not many people know, unless that you served, that there were many, modifications done by you guys in the field. And one would
Yes,
be the tin can to aid in a better belt feed, and then
yes, yeah,
also um, the bungee cord is something.
yeah.
So do you feel that there's a good mix for the public there to educate them?
Oh yeah, that's a lot of little details that I'm sure that goes on with everybody when they're in the war, that they modify stuff to make it work better for them.
Yeah.
But those are little details that wouldn't be known unless somebody was uh, telling you about them and you getting them published. So
Yeah, I've tried to keep it not just with words, to put in some fun graphics and stuff, and just to keep everybody, interested, right? Because for
Yeah,
the younger teens, you want to have something that is eye catching, and the picture tells 1,000 words, right? So, yeah, yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
I'm just trying. So, and also, before we conclude this little kind of book, review here, soon you and I are going to venture on a 21st book.
Yeah.
And so, if anybody's out there who has any history, I know Jim's put the feelers out there. Please contact either one of us. Jim is not hard to find. He's on Facebook or the Rotorheads website, and I'm on Facebook, so not too hard to locate. Um, because realistically, time is ticking here. Everyone's getting older, and memories are becoming a bit clouded at times, or gone. And time is now to get these here. And I'm very lucky to have Jim to help me. So if you have stuff to share, you'll get full credit for it, and the history won't be lost, right, Jim?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I for one, can't thank you enough. I mean, really getting that word, the history out there and preserving it. So I've enjoyed doing this.
Yeah, I mean it's a great two-way street. I'm lucky that I have the skill set to do it. It doesn't take me too long. It takes me a long time if I have to email people and say, do you have a story? But up until now, there really hasn't been, with your help and RT and being on some private Facebook pages where the public are not really allowed to be on. It's really opened a lot of doors. And
Yeah. Yeah.
as long as I found, as long as the veterans or veterans family know where your direction is at, and when these two books are out, already, then there's a confidence there. So,
Yes, I
so
would
I think,
agree.
yeah. So I think for today, I just wanted to have a meet and greet with everybody and just tell them, yeah, that we're on Barnes and Noble. And any questions, you can also leave me a question if you like on the YouTube channel. And yeah, so thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jim.